All right, y'all. So one of the Q&A questions was so good I had to make a video on it, right? It's a very, very basic question, very simple question, but a lot of people struggle with this shit. And I mean, a lot of people struggle with this very basic concept, right? The question was, how can I be more disciplined and hold myself more accountable, right? That was the question. Now, first of all, when it comes to discipline, that is a muscle that you work over time. And we don't give ourselves enough time generally to even become disciplined because after 2 days, after 3 days, after 1 week, after 2 weeks, we quit and we just give up, right? We're like, damn, I don't have discipline. You got to build that fucking discipline through trials and tribulations, right? When you go to sleep hungry that first time, when you feel that hunger pain that one time, when you got to go to gym when you're tired, that's what's building that fucking discipline. When you wake up and you actually read because you said you were going to, and you never done that shit before, that's what builds discipline. Doing shit you never done before, being uncomfortable. Get used to being uncomfortable. That's number one. All right. A lot of you guys are so used to being comfortable that when you get uncomfortable, you're like, oh yeah, I can't do this, and then you're like, damn, I don't have discipline. No, you're just not willing to be uncomfortable. All right. Second thing is when you start on this fucking journey, you don't want to make a choice. You don't want to be like, you know what? I think I'll be healthy today. I think I'll be healthy tomorrow. You want to make a fucking decision, right? The difference between a choice and a decision, a choice is temporary. It's like, okay, I'll eat healthy today, right? A decision is like, I'm gonna become the best version of myself. I'm gonna reach my goals. I'm gonna do everything it takes to reach my goals, no matter fucking what. That's what a decision is. There's a huge fucking difference because when you make that decision, like I always say, that means you're making your goals your standard. So now you're not putting up with your own goofy shit. If it's cookies, if it's pizza, if it's, wine and all that other shit, you're just cutting that shit out and you're like, yo, I'm locked in, I'm meal prepping my food, I'm eating high protein, I'm staying consistent with it. That is the difference between someone who makes a choice and someone who makes a decision. All right, there's a huge difference. A lot of people they're like, I'll choose to be healthy today. That's cool. But today is one day. How about tomorrow? How about the next day? How about the next day? What are your long-term plans? How serious are you about this? Is this a standard or is this a temporary fad, right? A lot of people, they say that they want some shit or they say that they're serious about some shit, but they only do it for a couple of days. If you do some shit for a couple of days, that's not a habit. Like, you guys need to realize that shit. As far as holding yourself accountable, that's one way to look at it, right? It's like, damn, man, I gotta be better with this. I gotta be better with this. Auditing everything you do, tracking everything you do could really help with that as well. Because a lot of times we don't even know how many fucking calories we're eating until we track calories for the first time. And once we track calories for the first time, we're like, damn, I've been eating that much. It's fucking crazy. That's step number one. Another thing is tracking your workouts and shit like that to make sure you're consistent, obviously. All of that tracking will make sure that you are actually aware of what you're doing and what you're not doing, of course. But the bigger point is just your standards. Like if you're out of shape, you got a big ass stomach, you look disheveled, you have a horrible life because of it, everything is horrible because of it, you feel sluggish all the time because of it, you're on medication because of it, that's more than just, a discipline issue. That's a fucking having no pride and having low standards. That's where that stems from. Because, like I said, man, I don't associate with people like that because of law of attraction, right? But if you are at that level where you just always feel like shit and you feel sorry for yourself and you're not going anywhere and you feel like you're like disciplined, all of that just reverts back to your standards. Because whatever your current physique is, whatever your body fat percentage is, it's just a reflection of your standards. It just means that you're okay with it, right? Because if you're consistently looking a certain way and you haven't made a change, that literally means that you're okay with it, right? Like that stems from the mindset. It's not just eating the calorie deficit and workout. Obviously you know that, but your mindset is like, what, I'm okay right here. I'm not the fattest friend, right? That's our standards a lot of time. I'm not the fattest friend. Well, you got some of the fattest friends on earth. So comparing yourself to them is not a good idea. You should always be striving to be the best version of yourself regardless of other people. You shouldn't be only comparing yourself to others. You should always compare yourself to your past self. Are you leaner than your past self? Are you more mentally locked in than your past self? Or are you more disciplined than your past self? That's what you need to fucking worry about. Don't be like, well, my friend is 40% body fat, has type 2 diabetes. I don't. But you're 30%. And if you went to another friend group, they'd be like, what the fuck? Dude, why do you have so much fat on you? Right? It's only a matter of time before the doctor starts saying, hey, you gotta take this, you gotta take that. So you always should be locked the fuck in. You shouldn't be, comparing yourself to people who are on a lower level when you're on a lower level, but you're also on a level that you can elevate from. All right. So that's one of the main things with that, because I'm not gonna lie, just discipline in itself holds a lot of people back, but a lot of that is also their unwillingness to delay gratification. But like I said, wherever you are is because you're comfortable with it. Like if you're 25% body fat and you get to eat your cookies on the weekend, you get to drink like beer on the weekends and shit like that, then you're happy with that, you're content with that. And the very fact that you've been consistently at that body fat percentage, or you've been consistently out of shape, reinforces that you're okay with that. Because if you weren't okay with that, you'd have made a fucking change. But you didn't make a fucking change. Why? Because you're comfortable with that. You're in your comfort zone. Alright? That's where dreams go to die. We know that shit. Get used to being uncomfortable. Step outside your comfort zone. Be comfortable getting uncomfortable, like I just said. But also raise your fucking standards, man. Like, I will never try to convince somebody, because everything in life improves, specifically for men, when you're working out consistently, when you are, when you're in shape. Like, everything just improves. Obviously, it's a conversation starter. Obviously, you know, a lot of you guys that struggle with chicks, that shit just goes away because of that. Job opportunities start to happen. You literally separate yourself. The fastest way to separate yourself is literally getting in shape. Like I said, or that post says, there's more millionaires. It's easier to be a millionaire than it is to get in shape, because obviously that's something no one else can take away from you. But a lot of people watch these kind of videos, or they watch a lot of videos, they just never apply any of the shit. Like if you watch me, Chris Jones, you know, Steph is Cold, or you watch Mark Bell, you watch any of these people, you should not be fucking out of shape, bro. It doesn't make any sense. You should be lean. You should be, I mean, obviously you're getting to 10% body fat, but you should be at least 15. Like if you're watching these videos. Like if you're watching these videos and you're not there, that means you're not applying shit and you just have low standard. You just like to watch raw shit. That's what it means. At the end of the day, if you don't apply shit that you watch or that you read, you're never gonna get anywhere. Ever.